ओम सदाशिवसमारंभां व्यासशंकरमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ओम सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम श्री परमात्मने नमः। So in the previous classes we have seen how the Trigunatmika or the three gunas affect the person and what sort of qualities one should have. Satvikam, Rajasikam or Tamasikam, and how each of these gunas affect the person. And today we are going to see the wise person or the characteristics of a wise person. So how do you distinguish a wise person? So we all talk about the person who is a jnani or a learned person or a munihi, etc. But how do we distinguish this person? So there are some attributes or some qualities given in this person. So Krishna again continues the same qualities which you saw before. So let's look at this. So verse number 23, 24, 25 are together. And we look at the meanings of them together once we complete this chanting of this mantra. Udasina vadasino, udasina vadasino, gunebhyo na vichalyate, guneryo na vichalyate, udasina vadasino, guneryo na vichalyate, guna vartanta ityeva, guna vartanta ityeva, yo vatishtati nengate. Udasina vadasino, guneryo na vichalyate, guna vartanta ityeva, yo vatishtati nengate. Sama dukkha sukham swastaha, sama dukkha sukha swastaha, samaloshtana kanchana, sama dukkha sukha swastaha, samaloshtashama kanchana, tulya priya priyo dhiraha, tulya priyo priyo dhiraha, tulya nindatva samstutihi. Mana pana mana mana pama mana panamayostu tulya mitrari pakshayoho sarvaramba parityagi gunatita sa uchyate. So in these three verses the qualities are given. So I'll first list out the qualities. You can write it down, then we can talk about it one by one. So first is udasinam. So udasinavat asinaha. So udasinavat asinaha. Means what? Udasina means the one who is neglected, he still remains seated, remaining as though indifferent. So udasinavat asinaha. Asina means what? The one who is seated, the one who is remaining indifferent. And gunairyo na vichalyate. So the person who is not affected by the gunas. See, satvikam guna will rise. And when satvikam comes, we are affected. Right now we are all satvika mode. So we are all very switched on and we are enjoying everything. After some, so now we are all highly elated. So satsangam is there, everything is okay. But after some time, Rajasing may come, you have to go out somewhere. So that will give a different type of enjoyment. So the person doesn't really get worried about what state of mind the person is, because the state of the mind fluctuates always, and one can never have an absolute mastery over the mind. One can have some sort of control. Let's say absolute mastery means what? A person should be able to be indifferent to anything. So the mind says something, but you don't really worried about what the mind says. So you don't go by what the mind says. You do what is required, right thing to do. So you in fact tell the mind that this is what I should do. This is what I'm going to do. Instead of the mind telling you what you should do. Right. So there are two different things. So once you let control of the mind, give it back to the mind will govern. It will tell you what you should do. Like in the class we talked about, the mind talking to the Atma, where the mind says, hey Atma, I'm doing a lot of things for you. I'm keeping you very happy. I'm taking you to a beach. I'm making you very comfortable. Atma says, I don't need your company. I don't need you're happy. I don't need any of these things what you're talking about. Because the mind requires all these things for its existence. The Atma doesn't require anything for its existence because it is Swayam Prakashaha. It's Adharam for everything. So it can afford to say that I don't need it. That's why he says here, Udasinavat Asinaha Gunaihi. By what? By Gunaihi. Na Vichalyate. So he's not shaken. So he's not shaken, or he's not agitated, or he's not worried about the gunas, what's happening to gunas. So yaha means the person. Gunai vartante iti iva. So the one who thinks that these gunas are alone acting. So when I say guna vartante, it means what? The gunas are acting on their own. So the gunas are part of Prakriti. And they already come with this preset gunas. So tiredness will come naturally to you. You don't say that tiredness should not come to me. Tiredness will come to you naturally, correct? Hunger will come to you naturally. Sleep will come to you naturally. All those things are natural. You really do not have to control anything. Correct. So that's what it says here, that the person doesn't really worry about all these things. They are part of the Prakriti. And guna vartanti iva, they are alone acting. And he is what? Avitishtati. He is actually stable. So guna vartante iti iva yaha. So the word should be yaha, mean the person. Avatishtati mean the person resides, or the person stables. He just resides. And na ingate. So na ingate means what? The person does not move. So the person does not move from his place. He doesn't get really worried about, perturbed about what's happening around. So this is called the mastery over the gunas. So the gunas will tell you, but you do not worry about it. If you're tired, you go to sleep. You must not feel guilty that I'm tired, I'm going to sleep. If you feel tired, you have to go to sleep, you have to sleep. If you are hungry, you go and eat food. Correct. So the person who is in such a position, who is able to control the gunas, is the person who is rising above everything else. So one of the qualities of the wise person to see is Udasinavat Asinaha Gunair Yuna Vichalyate. So the person doesn't get affected by the gunas, and he is firmly seated. Seated means he's not sitting there. He is firmly in control and seeing all the gunas going through. Just like, the example I gave you always, my favorite example is the TV and the screen and the images. The TV is like, the wise person sitting there. And the images which come on the screen, they can be action, they can be romance, they can be horror, they can be tragedy. All of the things which come in the serial, they are being thrown on the TV, on the screen. So the screen doesn't move anything, right? The screen does not go anywhere because the characters are moving. The characters keep coming and going. The TV is in the same place. It doesn't get tainted. whether because of any action or horror or anything romantic, nothing doesn't matter to the person. So same thing also, the images in the screen are akin to the gunas. Right? Same way the person in our mind also is like a TV. There's a screen there. So what is the screen? The Atma is a screen. And in the screen, there's a film going on. What are the films? The thoughts of the films. The images are the thoughts which run. And they keep running in front. And the thoughts can never reach the Atma, because even if it reaches also, it cannot touch it. It doesn't get tainted. So such is the person who understands the truth. So what it means is that once you take ownership of your own true nature, that I am the consciousness, then any thoughts which is arising in the mind, it is not going to affect you, either the gunas. So here we talked about the gunas, because the gunas are the one is also part of the mind. So I'm in sattvic mood. When you say it is part of the mind. When you say I'm a rajasic mood, that means I want to do activity, that means it's also part of the mind. And when you say I'm sleepy, I'm tired, it's also part of the mind. So all these three are related to the mind, and the gunas are the one which is the appearance of it. Correct? So the mind reflects through the gunas. The gunas are what is Prakriti. So they do their job. And I'm not really worried about what, I should not pay too much attention to this, what's happening there. So he says, these things don't bind me, na ingate. So that means the one who does not move from the vision of the self. So na ingate means what? The person who does not waver from the vision which is already got. Is called a wise person. So one of the qualities of the wise person. Then the next word, samadukkaha sukaswastaha samaloshta ashma kanchanaha. So first you take the word dhiraha. So in the second line you see dhiraha tulya ninda. So dhiraha means the wise person. So the wise person, so you can put dhiraha, wise person. How does he do? Samadukkaha sukha swastaha. So samam means what? Equanimity. Samam means equanimity. And how in sukham is also equal. In sukham also is equal. When sukham comes, he doesn't jump up and joy saying that, oh my God, I'm very extremely happy about it. He's highly elated. See, a new thing is acquired. And the person doesn't jump up and say that, oh my God, I'm actually acquired this unique thing. And I want to show it to the whole world. So he goes around and, portrays. He's not interested, because for him, it doesn't matter. It's just only a small thing. So samadukka. So samadukka sukha swastaha. So in dukkam also he is very equal. So in dukkam also he doesn't crib, he doesn't cry, saying that, oh my God, I've got suffering all the time. Or because when you are happy, you are enjoying the happiness. So when dukkam also comes, you should be able to take it in equanimity. This is the problem all we have. We are able to accept happiness. We are not able to accept sorrow, because nobody wants to be unhappy. The fundamental rule for everything is happiness. Every human being wants to be happy. There's not a single person in the universe who will say, given a choice, he will say that I don't want to be happy. He'll always say I'm happy. I want to be eternally happy. Right? And how do you be eternally happy? When the situation comes, either way, you should be in a position to accept it and not be disturbed by it. Right? So how to develop the quality, that is something different. How to develop the quality is something you have to practice it. So that is why the Karma Yoga philosophy is taught. Ishwarapana Buddhi, we saw, Prasada Buddhi, Samatva Buddhi. See this? Samatvam is coming here. See, Samaha, Samadukka Sukham. And Swastaha. Swastha means what? A person who is actually very steady. So the one who abides in himself is called Swastaha. Okay. And the one who is steady is called Swastaha. So the one who is abiding in himself means what? The one who retreats back. Just as the tortoise. You see the tortoise, it will keep going. And whenever there's a trouble, whenever there is some disturbance coming there, what does it do? It actually pulls its head inside, correct? And it will curl like a ball. So it has got a capacity to go out when it wants to and go about happily going around exploring things. At the same time, when trouble comes, it also knows how to withdraw also. So the wise person should be able to withdraw all his sensory perceptions, sensory feelings, etc. when you don't need it. You must not be longing for anything. You must not be, running for it all the time. So this is the essence of this. So only when you do this, you'll be able to abide in yourself. Otherwise, you'll be abiding in other things, not in yourself, other people. Okay, that's what it says here. Samadukkaha, swastaha. So then samam, another word, samam. See, samam is used again. Samam dukkam, samasukkam. Samam, loshtam. Loshtam means what? Clay. Loshta means clay. Kaliman. So why Kaliman is why Loshta clay is being talked about here? Because then it says Ashma. Ashma means stone. And Kanchanaha. Kanchana means gold. So the person has got equanimity over clay, stone, or gold. This is the meaning, literal meaning of it. So if you are given three things to you, which one will you pick? Will you pick? You pick the gold, right? You are given three things. Clay is given to you, stone is given to you, and gold is given to you. And all the three are, covered. It's like, in a bundle. Like, in Kris Kringle, Christmas people will play these games. Kris Kringle, something. What they do, they hide the parcel. So they hide the parcel and then they go around. And somebody will say, call something, and then you get some parcel. And you get clay. Or something which you don't know what is there. Somebody, some gift is there, but you don't know what it is there. So you get clay. And then you go around another one, again you get stone. Other person gets gold. You look at the other person and say, I wish I had that gold. Can we play the game again? Again, you keep playing the game again. Again you get stone this time. Next time you get clay. You never get gold. So what do you do there? So the question is, are you happy about not getting clay? You will keep playing the game forever till you get the gold. Suppose you never get the gold, what will you do? Will you be unhappy? That's what it says here. Whether you get clay, whether you get stone, or you get gold. It means what? Those things are referred to as objective pleasures. So whether you get this, what you want, whether you don't get what you really want, and what you really absolutely want as the ultimate thing, when objective wise, the person is uniform. He doesn't get affected because he doesn't give importance to gold. For him, gold is not required, because what will gold do to him? It will only make him more worried, because he has to now go to the shop, make a ring or gold or something ornament, and then he has to wear it. And if you wear it, then you have to protect it, you have to clean it, you have to take care of it, you have to give it to somebody else. And after wearing for so many years, you don't want to give it to somebody also, because you get attachment to that. See, if you keep wearing a gold ring for many years, it's part of your lifestyle. Suddenly, if you don't have a ring, it's a problem. It's a different thing that when you get married, you have to wear a ring. Sometimes the wife will ask you, where is your ring? You're not wearing a ring. It is not because that she's worried about your ring. She's worried that somebody else will look at you and they'll say, oh, he's a free person. So, adliye or security problem. Accidentally, you may forget, you may not be interested, you are kept somewhere else. Or it's too tight for you, you remove it and keep it out. And the person will say, where is the ring that I gave you? That ring? I don't see it anymore. So the objective is not that you have a ring or not. Objective is that the person is actually not ring. It's identification that you are licensed person. So, so you got a proper license, you cannot do. The Mangal Sutra also for the women also is when it's there. Then the person doesn't approach or do other things, correct? These are all symbolic meanings. But here, what it talks about here is the person who is actually getting gold or stone or clay, it doesn't matter to him because he is not really after this objectives. So he is actually samatvam. So sama loshta ashma kanchanaha. So getting this buddhi is very difficult. How to get this? It is easy. Krishna says that you can be equal like this. But in reality, if somebody is giving you gold and you say, I want only stone, is it possible? He is not saying that. What he is trying to say is that in your prarabdha, if you are getting gold, you accept it. In your prarabdha, you are only going to get only clay. Like some people can never get lottery. See this? See, you may buy lottery for 25 years. You will never get lottery. Because it is not your prarabdha. You have to work very hard. You have to sweat. So people don't buy that. Some people don't buy because number one is they have bought already and they have tried many things, they're unsuccessful. So they have become very tired and say that I don't want to do anymore. So they left it. There are some people still pursuing the lottery program and they're still pursuing it. Okay? With the hope one day that they'll get it. And they haven't got it. But there's one beggar, street side, you give him some 10 rupees, something, he goes and buys a lottery ticket there. He becomes a billionaire. So what do you do? See that I gave the 10 rupees, that fellow becomes billionaire. And you are afraid of, you are now, cribbing about the person. You're trying to find the person so that you can get some share from him. But you give, he won't give. Because he's not a jnani, he's not a wise person. He needs some security. Correct? But here you talk about a wise person. Wise person has got already full. He's already got everything what he wants. He's not going to get more enjoyment by getting more gold. So he's happy with anything what he's getting in this prarabdha. It is like sannyasi mind. See the sannyasi, the vritti is talked sannyasi here. Because sannyasi, when you take up sannyasa, you do not know tomorrow what you're going to get. See, in all our house, we know tomorrow fridge is there. Fridge Bhagavan is there. And you know tomorrow, mommy is going to this will be there. Something, sabji will be there. Something, we have a variety of items. You know what you're going to come, open the fridge, you'll know. Right? So you can think about it. But sannyasi doesn't have that luxury because that person doesn't have all these things. No cooking utensils, no, he's care of platform. So somebody will come and give donation. Somebody will come and give some rice, some vegetables. Somebody will invite him for dinner or him or her dinner or for lunch. Or somebody may come over and bring some food. Is accepted. So the life of a sannyasi is not sure what you're going to get because there's no pre-planning. So a person lives just for the particular day and lives for that particular time only. So because of that, the person doesn't really have any attachment to things. He doesn't like to hoard things. Not keep food for a rainy day. 1 year ahead, I'll have difficulty. Let's start building things. Doesn't have this. The grahastha, all these things. So it talks about here that such a wise person who has got samatvam, samadukka, sukham, swastaha. Sama, loshta, ashma, kanchanaha. Then tulya, priya, apriyaha. So tulyam, priya, apriyaha. Means his comparison between three things. What? Stone, clay and gold. He compares. Oh, if I get this, I'll be better off. He doesn't have any preference. Tulyam means what? Comparison. Correct? Tulyam means comparison. And priyam means what? I like stone. Or I like this gold. And apriyaha, I do not like this. So he doesn't have any preference for liking or not liking. So tulya, priya, apriyaha was same in pleasant and unpleasant situations. So pleasant situation is you get gold, you're in pleasant situation. Unpleasant situation, you happen to get only Kaliman, only clay. You can make player with that if you know how to do that. That's all you can do. So he doesn't get worried about it. So Tulya, Priya, Apriyaha. Then Tulya, Ninda. So Tulya means what? Ninda means what? Criticism. So somebody criticizes you, correct? Atma Samstutihi. So Tulya, Ninda, Atma Samstutihi means the person doesn't really get overly worried about somebody criticizing him. See, Ninda is going to be there. Every person is not going to be liking you. It's a fact. So if you want to please everybody, you cannot do that. So let's be honest. There will always be one person who will come and tell you that, somebody will say that I don't like that what you're doing. Or they will have some reservations. They may not say what it is, but they will say that this person is not good. Or he's like this. Something, people are like that. So do you get affected by that? If you get affected by that, what will happen to you? You will start to believe that I am not capable, or I am actually doing something wrong. So you will always find people in every profession you go, whether you are in management, whether you are in teaching, or you are guru also. People will always say, "Oh, our on the update kar everyone." People say that. So, but in reality, it doesn't affect because the person is free from all these things. Right? So Tulya, Ninda, Atma Samstutihi means the person is not also highly elated. When a person praises, he doesn't get highly elated also. He's always steady, same meter. So you want to praise somebody? Okay. You want to criticize somebody? Criticize me? Okay. Because you are not criticizing me. You are not criticizing me as you are criticizing only the intellect. I am not being criticized because Atma Samskriti means what? I am actually the consciousness. And my own consciousness, I am untouched by all these things. I do not get affected by any of these gunas, any of this ninda, any of this sukham, dukkham, loshtam, kanchana, asma. I don't get affected by anything else. So I'm equanimous to everything. Okay? So this is the view of the jnani. See, how do you see the wise person is? This is how you see a wise person. You can test it. You go and offer him, say, I'll give you $1,000 to you. You ask, why do you want to give? I just like to give you $1,000. You accept it. If you had a desire for $1,000, something like this, then what do you do? Okay, I'll accept it. But a person doesn't have the need for it. Right? If he says, I don't really need $1,000, I don't need it, you keep it with you, then the person will just say, it's okay. But if a person insists that, look, I want to give you a donation to your association, see, if you want to give, it's okay. If you don't want to give, also it's okay. Nobody is going to go and ask for anything. So that is what called equanimity. So same with reference to everything. Then mana apamanam. So manam means what? Insult. And so manam means respect and apamanam means insult. So mana apamanam means you get respect and you also get insult. You get criticism, you get praise. So two different things. See, ninda and so okay. Atma samstuti. Stuti means what? Praise. And ninda means criticism. Here talks about manam and apamana. So praise and insult. Both of them you get. So the person has got the same view. Right? So mana apamanaha. Then mitra ari. Mitra ari. Mitra means what? Friend. Okay. So mitra ari pakshayoho. So ari means enemy. Ari means enemy. And mitra means friend. But pakshaha means what? The position. So you don't take the position of the friend or you don't take the position of an enemy because you don't support either of them, you don't take sections. And you don't criticize that, oh, he's an enemy, so I should criticize him. Or he's a friend, I should praise him. So the person is remaining equanimity to both of them. See, if he's an enemy, so be it. There are always people who are enemies to you. So here the enemy is not actually outside. The enemy is actually inside. Right? What are the enemies? You've got all this kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya. The 6 are the enemies. So they are the enemies. And you are indifferent to this because first of all, you don't have this, number one. And second thing is mitra also, friend. So all these qualities are equanimity. So you do not side with somebody or do not criticize somebody because of enemy to you. Then tulyam means what? Equanimity. Samam. Tulyam means samam. So your comparison, you make it equal. Then sarva aramba parityagi. So sarva aramba parityagi means what? The one who has given up all undertakings. So tyagam means give up. And parityagi means totally give up. And what sarva arambaha? So the one who has given up everything is called sarva aramba parityagi. So whenever you give up something, there is a sense of loss. Correct? So whenever you give up something, the sense of loss. You feel, oh my God, I think I've given up that particular thing. I liked it so much. And even now miss it. So sense of loss is something you always carry it. But this person doesn't miss anything because it was there, I enjoyed it. It is not there now, I don't enjoy it. So it's okay. You don't brood about it. So an example which I can give you is, you've taken a vow that you want to study Shastra. And when you finish Kathopanishad, after all the Vedanta class you do, fundamental Vedanta class, introduction Vedanta class, then you do all the classes, Bhagavad Gita you do, then you come to Upanishad, Kathopanishad. Then I'm going to go to Tirupati, I'm going to shave my head. So you go there. You stand in the queue and then you give your hair to the Tirupati Balaji. After giving the hair, what do you see? You touch your hair and see, I think I lost everything. I feel that. Touch it and see how shining it is or how rough it is. And then what do you do? Because now you're used to this hair for a long time. Many years you kept this hair. And we were solitary. Just like that I told that I just told something, now I'm going to do this. People remain tell you, see, you come here now, you have made a promise, you're doing Kathopanishad now, you better give the hair away. So you stand in the queue last, you keep jumping behind, finally the barber catches up with you. And he says, you have to do this. So you give it. Then what do you do after that? All your friends start looking at you. They say, oh, then you go first to the shop and buy a cap. So you buy a cap, you put on the cap first. This is to cover. So they cover the sense of loss. Because you can't accept the fact that suddenly you lost the hair and it's a sense of loss. You cannot. So always you'll see people cover they'll have a cap which is covering even the back also. Because see, when you put a other cap, baseball cap, the back you can see that this person has got no hair. So what they do, they sometimes buy a hat, they have tied like this also, so it doesn't fly. But still the hair will fly like this up and down sometimes. So what I'm trying to tell you here is the sense of loss. Sarva aram parityagi. See, tyagi means what? That even if you lose hair also, it doesn't matter. If you have something today, you don't have it, it doesn't matter. Because you had it, you enjoyed it. Now you don't have it, you don't enjoy it. So you don't actually brood about it, saying that I wish I had that one. So if it comes again, you enjoy it. If it doesn't come again, don't bother chasing after it. So this is the view of the jnani. See, the wise person thinks differently. How can you be equal? When you can be equal only when these things don't bother you. When these things start bothering you, you will become unequal. Right? So sarva arambha parityagi. Right? So it is like, when you put a garbage out, you don't miss anything. Right? Because the garbage is something which you have accumulated and you're just throwing it away. You do not feel bad about it, that now I'm throwing the garbage out. Same way the hair also is another sort of pop-up. Right? See, the growing of the nails or the growing of the hair on the body, the hair on the head, or all the romangal which is there, they are all natural. You cannot stop them because they are part of that. And by getting rid of it, it's again going to grow again. It's not going to be that you will be bald or forever. If it is there, it will grow again. Right? So why do you grieve for something which is a temporary loss, or the loss is there also, it's okay. That's what he's saying here. Sarva arambha parityagi. Right? So such a person guna atitaha. So guna atitaha means what? That person is beyond the three gunas. Guna atitaha saha uchyate. So it is said that such a person is supposed to be the wise person. What are the qualities? Udasinavat udasinaha gunairyo na vichalyate guna vartanta iti eva yovatistati nengate. So samadukkaha sukaswastaha samaloshta ashna kanchanaha tulya priya apriyaha tulya ninda samstutihi. So in criticism and in praise also is equanimity. Manam apamanaha mitra ari apakshayoho. Means apaksha means what? Not taking any paksham. Then sarvarambha parityagi guna atitaha saha uchyate. So all these are qualities given by Krishna for the wise person. Right? So guna atitaha means what? A person who is beyond the three gunas. So how the person becomes guna atitaha is the next verse. So the one with the person who has got unflinching devotion, unflinching pursuit of the knowledge of the Brahman is the only person who can cross this. So even if you have an iota of doubt, even if you have something which is holding you back, it is difficult to get to this. Because it's like an arrow. So when the arrow is left, right, the arrow has to go and hit the target. You cannot stop the arrow in between. Right? Before firing the arrow, you should think about it. After firing the arrow, you cannot say that let me go and catch the arrow in between, because you will never be able to catch the arrow. It will go and hit the target. So same way also, before you start, you have to be thinking whether I can do this or not. And once you have taken up that particular stance that I want to continue this, I want to pursue this jnanam, then what do? You only stop only when you get jnana. You do not stop anywhere else. You may take a break here and there, but not like permanently stop and then say you get off the bus and then you wait for another bus to come. Some people, what they do, they start. They start. And then after some time they find it too difficult. Year after year, week after week, month after month, year after year, this keeps on continuing. There's no break at all. And so many things are being taught. So it's difficult, So the person drops. So somewhere half the way they get down. And after getting down, it is difficult, right? To get back again. Because they already traveled very far away. So if interest is lost, that particular janma is gone. So never lose interest. Keep Palla Kadichin, just continue. It may be tough, difficult because in Grahastha Ashrama, so many commitments are there. Children is there, family commitments are there, so, and your own social commitments are there. All of them are there. That is why it is the most difficult space. Karma Yogam is the most difficult thing to do for anyone. Jnana Yogam anybody can do, because tomorrow if you have the maturity and if you see that, okay, look, I think I'm tired of all these things. See, tiredness is a different thing and then getting over is a different thing. If you go to the other side of the fence, Jnana Yoga, or become sannyasi, and then you later repent, something I've forgotten. So let me go back and retrieve that thing. You cannot come back. There's no coming back. You have to only look from that side and go further. That's it. Whereas in the Grahastha Ashrama, there's a chance that you can make a mistake, you can correct. And you can keep correcting it as long as you want. And then finally, when you're ready, you can jump over. But when you have a jump over very quickly, when your mind is not ready, then it is dangerous. Correct. That's why he says here in this verse, the one with unflinching attitude, one which has got very clear dedication, is the one who will ultimately gain the jnana. Okay. So let's say this. Mam chayo abhyabhicharena, mam chayo vyabhicharena, bhakti yogena sevate. Mam chayo vyabhicharena, bhakti yogena sevate. Sagunan samatityaitan, brahma bhuyaya kalpate. Sagunan samatityaitan, brahma bhuyaya kalpate. So yaha, so and this. So cha means and yaha means this person or the one who is mam. Mam means in me. So when mam, Krishna says in me means he talks about not Krishna as a form. He talks about Krishna as a consciousness, as the Parabrahman or the ultimate consciousness. So mam chayo vyabhicharena. So avyabhicharena means what? Mam yo avyaha abhicharena means in the, I don't know, fundamental class, I taught you bhakti, right? So vyabhicharana bhakti, avyabhicharana bhakti. I think you should know this. So unflinching bhakti is called avyabhicharana bhakti. So there are different types of bhakti, Bahya bhakti, antara bhakti, sakama bhakti, nishkama bhakti, vyabhicharana bhakti, avyabhicharana bhakti, anya bhakti, ananya bhakti. All sorts of bhaktis are there. Right? So one of the bhakti is what? Avyabhicharena bhakti yogena. So the person who has got unflinching devotion or unswerving devotion, avyabhicharena. And bhakti means devotion. What does it do? Sevate means what? Worships or seeks. And his bhakti yoga is talked about. See, bhakti yogena means what? Bhakti yoga. So having unflinching devotion to the pursuit of knowledge. And what is the knowledge? Mam means coming to me or understanding me as self. Mam. And what sort of bhakti talk about? Avyabhicharena, unflinching bhakti. Unswerving bhakti. So never a moment I am having doubt at all. I'm always confident that I should take this path and I will get this. So you always are consistent in your bhakti. You are not very, very inconsistent. So, and sevate means what? Seva means what? Either seeks or worships, or he's seeking for that. Then sagunan means all this saha along with he, etan guna means this gunas, samatityaha. So samatitya means what? Having properly crossed. Sama atitaha means what? Samatitya means having properly crossed the gunas. So, what is the requirement? You should first have developed the qualities, which are from verse number 23 to 25. So, you have to develop these qualities. After that, you should cross the gunas. Gunatraya atitaha. So, you have first of all cross the gunas. Then you should have avyabhicharana bhakti, unflinching devotion to the pursuit of knowledge. Then you must be worshipful and seeking for that knowledge. Only when you do, then Brahma Bhuyaya Kalpate means what? Then only you are fit for receiving or becoming Brahman. Qualification. So don't get distracted saying that, oh my God, I don't have any quality like this. I'll never attain Brahman. I'm nowhere there, so I think I'm going to stop here. So from tomorrow onwards, next Sunday onwards, I will not be coming to class because this is too difficult for me. I'll never be able to achieve. Don't get disheartened. Krishna says this because he talks about a wise person. Correct. And when you are a wise person, you do not need all these qualities because you already crossed it. The reason why he's saying wise person because 95% of the people are not wise. So you want to learn from somebody who is wise person. Correct. You always want to learn the good things from somebody, not the bad things from somebody. Correct. So how do you do it? How are you able to do this, sir? How are you able to do this? So you want to know how it is done. Correct. So how do you do it means you'll have to talk to somebody who can do it. So that is very important. That's what it talks about here. Brahma Bhuyaya Kalpate. So achieving Brahman is possible only when a person is fit for this, correct? Okay. Is it clear that particular verse 23 to 25, 26 is clear? Okay. So today we'll stop here for the class and verse number 27. We'll continue from next class where it talks about the nature of Brahman or nature of the Atma. Right? So there it talks about the qualities of what Brahmanaha, Pratishtitam, Amritaha, correct? Dharma, Sukshmaha, all these things talks about. So it gives the qualities of the Brahman or the consciousness. So now we saw the qualities of the wise person. Then we saw how the wise person how the person should cross the gunas. Correct. And how the person should continue to be having avyabhicharana bhakti. Then you should be prayerful. You should be worshipful. You should be seeking knowledge all the time. And once such a person only is eligible for Brahma Bhuyaya Kalpate. So the person can become eligible to attain Brahman or become Brahman. See, there's nothing like attaining Brahman because you're already Brahman. All we're trying to do is to take ownership of something which you have forgotten halfway. Right? It is like something you have forgotten. And when you forget what somebody reminds you saying that, see, you forgot about it. What do? You just take ownership of that. You do not go and get again the new thing, correct? You recollect the memory and you say, yes, I remember what I told you. So you just recollect and take ownership of that. Same way, when I tell that the Shastram says that you are Brahman, you are Atma, the consciousness, you have forgotten about it somehow, down the line. Suddenly you say that, yes, now I got it. So can I take ownership of that? So what do? You don't do anything there. You do not go after Atma or anything else. You just take ownership and then you just be a sane person. That is what is called here Brahma Bhuyaya Kalpate. So by developing these qualities only, it is possible for a person to cross. So one has to work towards these qualities. It is not that this is required to start somewhere. See, a lot of people get this misconception. They have idea about wrong ideas. Somewhere somebody had told them, see, in Shastram படிக்கணும்னா உங்களுக்கு வந்து இதெல்லாம் quality வேணும் அப்படின்பா. You have to study all these things. You have to have Shama, Dhamma, Titiksha, Uparama, Samadhanaha, Nitya Nitya Vastu Viveka, எல்லாம் கேட்கணும்பா. And somewhere they have read this topic. எங்கே கேட்டிருப்பாங்க அது. And starting itself, Shuklambaradhanam itself, they get on the wrong foot because I don't know what is Shama. I don't have. Titiksha, I don't have. Forbearance, I cannot bear. See, if it's too hot, I have to put AC on. If it is too cold, I have to put a jumper on. So I don't have the qualities, so I'm not fit. So they don't study it. Easy way out. Because they read only half of it. Padi, half knowledge if you get, what do? You only guess, correct? You only guesstimate, saying that, it could be like this. But you do not know the full thing. So that's why Shastram says that even if you don't have the qualities, you work towards getting the qualities. Because Shastram teaches you how to get the qualities. Nobody is born with the qualities. But they acquire these qualities by working very hard. Right? Some of them are inborn, some of them are already within you. You have to discover them. And you discover them when the opportunity comes, when you work for it. Is it clear? Any questions from anyone in the class? Sridharji, you're okay? Okay. That's thumbs up from Hema, that's good. It's the first time I'm seeing thumbs up there.
No, usually I struggle to find the button.
Oh, is it? I never
So
knew.
by the time I come, then the moment is gone. So today I was ready.
I never knew that a button existed, honestly speaking. So for the first
Nowadays
time,
there's a thumbs up in everything.
Oh, is it? Okay. Gopalji, is everything okay so far? That's good. Another thumbs up there. Very good. Okay. One more thumbs up for anyone? Nice. Okay. That's good. Okay, so we will meet again. For those people coming to Tamil class tomorrow, we will continue with the Shivajnana Bodham tomorrow. And we'll see what Shivajnana teaches us tomorrow. Okay. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vasishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi Harihi Om Tatsat Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Namaste, Shubhratri to all of you. Hari Om.
Thank you, Ji.
Thank you.